Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. Tomorrow will be, of course, our weekly Wednesday Top 10 countdown. So please stay tuned for that coming up tomorrow. But today, I'm going to be talking about the Atlanta Motor Speedway from this past weekend. If you have any thoughts on it, please feel free to let me know. First, I'm going to give you the top 10 from the truck race and the Xfinity race and the Cup race, and then I will give a few quick thoughts on it. Saturday afternoon in the Camping World Truck Series race, Corey Heim, who drives for Kyle Busch Motorsports, scored the victory. And of course, Corey Heim is actually from the Atlanta area, so I'm sure it felt good for him getting the victory at his home racetrack. Growing up, Ben Rhodes comes home second, followed by Ty Majeski, Chandler Smith, Zane Smith, and then Stuart Friesen was sixth, Ryan Preece seventh, Tanner Gray eighth, Derek Kraus was ninth, and Austin Self came home 10th. And then late Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening in the Xfinity race, Ty Gibbs scored the win. He's actually the first driver in all three series to score his second victory of the season. Austin Hill was second, AJ Allmendinger third, Riley Herbst was fourth, and Landon Castle came home fifth. And then 6 through 10 was Mason Massey, Brandon Jones, Kyle Weatherman, Sheldon Creed, and Ryan Sieg. And by the way, if your name is Kyle Weatherman, I think you should be a weatherman. And then in the Cup race on Sunday afternoon, William Byron scored his third career win. He is actually the third Hendrick Motorsports driver to win this year, to go along with Alex Bowman and Kyle Larson. Chase Elliott is the only Hendrick driver who has not won yet this year. Ross Chastain was second, Kurt Busch third, Daniel Suarez fourth, and Corey LaJoie gets his best career finish, coming home in fifth. It looked like Christopher Bell was going to come home second, but of course, if you follow NASCAR, then you know at these super speedways, they have the yellow line, and you cannot go below the yellow line, and NASCAR deemed that on the final lap, Christopher Bell went below the yellow line to gain a position, so therefore he got disqualified, and instead of coming home second, he came home in 23rd, the final car on the lead lap. 6 through 10 was Chase Elliott, Chris Buescher, Martin Truex Jr., Joey Logano, and Alex Bowman. Now they're back on track this weekend, all three series. Saturday at 1 o'clock will be the Expel 225 in the Camping World Truck Series. Then at 4:30 will be the Pit Boss 250 in the Xfinity Series. And then Sunday afternoon at 3:30 will be the Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix for the Cup Series. And of course, they're going to be at the Circuit of the Americas, which is in Austin, Texas. Now, on to my thoughts about it. And I guess it honestly really truly depends on how you look at it and what you like and what you deem good racing and what you deem bad racing. And if you have not watched the interview with Kyle Busch, it's about 23 seconds long. I strongly encourage you to watch it, only because Kyle Busch gives honest opinions, and he's tired of everybody hating on him for being honest, because nobody else will be honest because they're scared of the backlash they'll get So he cut his interview very, very short so that nobody can say he's being a smart butt, or nobody can say he's being mean, he's being negative, but yet he was still being honest. But people that know me know that I've said for years, and I may have said it here on the channel last year talking about NASCAR, but I have never been a fan of Daytona or Talladega, and it's not because the racing's bad, because it's not. The racing is good, but to me, restrictor plate racing is not racing. To me, it's too gimmicky. That's all it is. You make sure that all 37 or 38 cars, ever how many you got on the racetrack, are all going the same speed, staying in one lead pack. That's not racing. Because it does not matter how good your race car is, it does not matter how good a race car driver you are. If you're going around the track and you're in 5th or 6th place and there's a wreck in front of you, you're not going to miss it. You're going to get caught up in it. And that's why you see so many people win at Daytona and Talladega that never win anywhere else. Michael Waltrip's only career wins came on super speedways. Michael McDowell won last year, and he's never won any other race. David Reagan's only 2 career wins came at super speedways. Back in the day, Derek Cope and Lake Speed and Bobby Hamilton are just some of the guys that won there and didn't win anywhere else because it's gimmicky. It has nothing to do with how good of a driver you are or how good your race car is. If you avoid the crashes, you've got a good chance to win. I think they said Sunday there was 30 cars of the 37 that had some kind of damage from some kind of wreck or spin or something that happened on the racetrack. And now that they have reconfigured Atlanta, it's pretty much a small super speedway. So it drives just like Daytona and it drives just like Talladega. So if you look at it from an outside perspective and just look at it from the entertainment side, it's great. They broke a record Sunday for the most lead changes, and that's what racing should be about. But then if you look at it from an actual racing standpoint, that's not racing. There is nothing racing about cars going around the racetrack at the same exact speed in a pack together. That's just guys that are going around the track hoping that they can avoid the big crash whenever it comes, which is completely different than actual racing. And if you actually listen to most of the drivers' interviews, the majority of the drivers didn't like it because it's not racing. But at the same time, it's also very, very entertaining. But now you look, we know that NASCAR for years and years and years only had 2 road courses. But then when Chase Elliott came along, since he's so good at road courses and he's so popular, they went up to 7 to try to help him win more because he's good at road courses and he sucks everywhere else. And now you have 2 races at Daytona, 2 races at Talladega, and now you have 2 races at Atlanta. So now you have 7 road courses, and you might as well say you have 6 super speedways. That's 13 of the 36 races. That's a little bit more than 1/3 of your schedule where you're going to gimmicky racetracks. So the old school NASCAR fans are not going to like it because if they want to see actual racing, then they're going to watch Formula One or they're going to watch IndyCar, somewhere where you actually race and it's not gimmicky. And I'm scared that NASCAR is trying to get too gimmicky by making Atlanta into a super speedway because of the fact all the outsiders are going to watch it and say, hey, that was a great race. So the next time another racetrack needs to be redone, they're going to try to do that all over again. It worked at Atlanta this one time, but 3-4 years from now, it may not be the same. The racetrack had to be redone. There was actually times last year during the races that they had to bring out the red flag and put some more concrete down because the racetrack was falling apart. So it had to be redone, but they could have just repaved it. So I guess if you just look at it from an excitement level, on a scale of 1 to 10, it was a 10. But if you look at it from a racing perspective and just say, hey, was this an actual race? I'd give it about a 3 because it's not. There's nothing racy about race cars going around the track at the same speed for 3.5 hours trying to avoid a wreck. That's not what you would call an actual race. So it's entertaining, it's exciting, but it's not racing. So I just hope NASCAR doesn't get the idea to do this again the next time another racetrack needs to be reconfigured or redone or repaved or whatever. But Atlanta had to do something, but I'm just afraid we've gone too far. If you have any thoughts on it, please feel free to let me know. It definitely was the best race Atlanta has seen in years. I used to be a big fan of the Atlanta Motor Speedway, but the past 4 or 5 years, the racing there has been absolute hot garbage. So hopefully this will turn things around. It wasn't a sellout in the crowd on Sunday, but it was definitely the best crowd Atlanta has seen in probably 10 years. So the fans definitely came to see the new racetrack. So it worked. I just hope we don't overdo it. We don't need to get where we have 9 or 10 road courses and 10 super speedways, and then we only have 10 or 11 races where we're actually racing at, Dover and Darlington and places like that where we're actually still having good old-fashioned racing. So let's just hope NASCAR doesn't get an idea to keep doing this and they just overdo it, because that makes it too gimmicky. And a lot of the old NASCAR fans have tuned out because they already think that NASCAR is getting too gimmicky, and you're just making it worse by adding more road courses and more super speedways, because it is not needed. And if they'll listen to the drivers instead of doing things on their own without getting opinions, this kind of thing wouldn't happen. Again, if you have not watched the Kyle Busch interview, I strongly encourage you to go back and watch it. I love Kyle Busch just because he gives honest opinions, and I wish more race car drivers would do that, but they're scared of people talking about them being mean or being negative, or they're scared they'll get fined for what they say, and Kyle Busch just doesn't care. If you don't want Kyle Busch's opinion, I guess you better not ask him a question, because he's going to give you an honest opinion. Me personally, I like it, and I know I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I never liked Jimmy Johnson, because Jimmy Johnson could go out there in a race car with no steering wheel and no motor and 2 wheels. He'd say, well, if that's what NASCAR wants, it must be a good idea, because he was so scared that he was going to get fined for what he said. He was like NASCAR's real-life robot. And Kyle Busch is the exact opposite. He will tell you his opinion. Again, any thoughts on it, please feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. I was going to look for my missing watch, but I never could find the time. And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.